Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Trash Panda DUNE. So the DUNE is Trash Panda's second disc in their lineup, and if you've seen my Inner Core review, you know that I really love the Inner Core. So does the DUNE live up, or does it hit that sophomore slump? Let's jump on in and take a look at the profile and the feel for the DUNE. Now, the DUNE does have a pretty high shoulder to it and a decent amount of dome, not pop top, but not flat, just kind of that semi in the middle, which gives the DUNE overall a fairly deep feel to it. Which means for my backhand grip, it fills the hand very, very well, very comfortable for backhand. When it comes to forehand, that dome just makes it feel a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, and now for the flight, and you know, I have to say I'm pretty perplexed with the DUNE. It's definitely a neutral flyer. If you put it on a hyzer, it's going to hold the hyzer line, maybe get a little bit of a flip up to flat. When you do throw it flat, it's going to ride very straight with almost no fade whatsoever, depending again, just how much height you give it. If you throw it really high and flat, you might get a little bit of hyzer as it kind of stalls and just kind of falls to the ground, but it holds lines really well. So in that sense, I can see why people enjoy it and why it can be very useful, very kind of point and shoot, kind of holds that line you put it on. However, there is a but to it, and I don't know what it is about the DUNE, but it just likes to have a lot of height. If you try to throw this thing low, it does not like to be thrown low at all. It just likes to fall out of the sky, almost as you're seeing with just on that forehand shot. If you do not get a lot of height out of it, it just wants to fall and crash to the ground, really sacrificing a lot of distance. It almost feels more like a putter in the sense you want to have a very high ceiling and a lot of airspace to let the disc work. I don't really know what it is. It has decent amount of glide. Again, when you do put it high, it has good glide, but if you don't put some height on it, it just feels like gravity just yanks the DUNE right out of the sky. So if I was playing on a wide open course with a lot of airspace, then yes, I could definitely see the DUNE being very, very good because it's so point and shoot. But if you get in the woods, I don't know, if the low ceilings, I just don't trust it. So with that said, one thing that I do like though about the DUNE is that at least for backhand, it's semi-resistant to torque. So it's not just going to turn and burn the moment that you throw it on backhand. On forehand, however, it's a little bit of a different story. You're going to probably do more approach shot, touch shots, little standstills, and slightly power down. Alright, let's go ahead, check out the DUNE out on the course. This is just a very wide open shot. You do have a tree on the left if you're a lefty, and then also you do have that one guardian tree in front of the basket on the right. So, I mean, as a lefty, this is just a real nice, simple stock hyzer. And again, I mean, the DUNE is very neutral, point and shoot, so it holds that hyzer line very well, not too much of a flip up at all, just holds that nice arcing hyzer line. This next hole is a little bit more difficult. You have a very defined gap right off the tee pad that you have to hit. I personally like throwing the DUNE with just flat to slight anhyzer on this. Just let it hold that gentle amount of turn before just at the very end of the flight, kind of leveling itself off so it doesn't turn too far. While his next hole is very similar to the last, just the gap is much further down the fairway, so you really have to control the DUNE on that kind of slight turnover line with just that little bit of a baby hyzer back. And the DUNE is great for that. Again, if you give it the height, it's going to have a nice little gradual turn, very kind of straight flat flight down to the gap before then just having a gentle hyzer back. Now we have that same hole just playing to the shorter basket on a touch forehand. You just have to split the uprights. Again, because it's not the most torque resistant, you're going to have to kind of throw more on a standstill, a little bit less speed on it, just kind of a flick of the wrist, but it will still hold those shots. So as long as you have good speed and angle control, you can get the DUNE to hit a few different lines in the woods. So for the lefty lines, with the DUNE being that very neutral point and shoot mid-range, I wanted to try it against another very neutral mid-range, and that is the MD1 from Discmania. And you can really see the two of them very, very similar flights. They almost mirror each other perfectly. I think maybe the DUNE just gets just a touch more a turn in its mid-flight, and the MD1 maybe just has a touch more fade at the very end of the flight. However, they're both very, very close together. I mean, if you like the MD1, you'll probably like the DUNE, and vice versa. Alright everyone, that is all I have now. Was not as big of a fan of the Dune as I was the inner core. However, I can still see where the uses are for the Dune. I just don't really like how it just kind of drops out of the sky if you don't give it a lot of height, so just not really my cup of tea there. However, if you did watch this video and you do want to try the Dune for yourself, be sure to visit GreatLakesDiscs.com, use that code Lefty and save 10% off your order. And if you're just needing new discs in general, use that promo code. You're saving yourself money, you're helping out the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Until the next one, keep banging chains.